You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Young and the Restless fans. I have got a big tidbit for you. Somebody figures out that Victor is tricking the family on Y&R, but will this person play along, or will they try and take advantage, or will they reveal the whole game before Victor is ready for everyone to know? So right now on Young and the Restless, Victor Newman's feeling pretty clever as he toys with his family and with Nate Hastings also. He's pretending to be slipping into some sort of dementia / pre-Alzheimer's medical state, mental breakdown, something where he's brain addled, confused, and forgetting things he should know. But a new spoiler says one of his kids figures it out and comes to confront Victor, but which of his children will suss out the scheme and what will they do when they figure it out? We're going to talk about that, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Y&R updates. So on the latest episode airing on Thursday in the U.S., Victor ups the ante and starts playing wildly unpredictable. He is really amping things up. Over at Society, he goes off on Adam, tells him something like he knows what he's been up to, and then he fires him. And then he seems to forget about it just a couple minutes later when Nate comes in. He's chatting nicely with Nate, and then he tells Nate and Adam, "I'll see you both at work." And Adam's got whiplash, and he tells Nate what his dad said. He seems genuinely concerned. Meanwhile, of course, Victor clued Nikki Newman in already. He told her he's testing Nate and the kids to see who's going to stab him in the back. So I do wonder if Nikki is starting to doubt her hubby. So on the Thursday episode, she goes off on Adam. It is nasty and needless, this confrontation. She slings accusations that she is completely made up in her head because there is no shred of evidence that Adam is up to anything. It's like she's self-gaslighting at this point. And at the same time, Nikki knows 100% that Victoria wants to destabilize Victor as CEO and kick him back out of that chair for incompetence for her own reasons. So Nikki knows that Victoria is actively plotting. She has no proof that Adam is plotting, but it's Adam whose butt she's up. I am absolutely tired of her coming at Adam, making accusations when she knows what Victoria is planning to do to Victor if she gets half a chance. Maybe Nikki spent too much time swinging around that stripper pole and her brain is terminally dizzy. I don't even know. I like her as a character, and in general, every time she's around Adam, I start to dislike her. That's where I'm at with this. But interesting to note, it's neither Adam nor Victoria who figures out that Victor Newman is playing mind games. And of course, it's not Abby, because everybody seems to forget she's a Newman, only by merit of stolen sperm, but a Newman biologically nonetheless. So as part of Victor's plan, per confirmed Y&R spoilers, he leaves out a notepad where he's done a bunch of nonsense doodles on them, leaving sure signs of evidence of a mental meltdown. Adam finds the notepad and it freaks him out. But does Adam take it to the board to try and steal Victor's CEO seat? No. Even though I'm certain Nikki thinks he would, instead, Adam takes it to his big brother, Nick Newman. Adam shows it to Nick and says he's very worried that Victor is about to have a breakdown. And Nick looks at the evidence his little brother brought and says, "I'll deal with it." And then Nicholas Newman makes a beeline for their father and starts slinging accusations. That's confirmed spoilers too. I mean, I don't usually see Nick as much of a mental athlete or anything, but maybe now that he's keeping his little head zipped up and not near Sally, his big head has the blood flow to think more clearly. So according to official Y&R spoilers, Nick tells Victor he knows he's playing games with them and tells him to confess. So it'll be very interesting to see if the mustache does come clean or if he acts even more addled to try and throw Nick off his trail. But then again, I can also see Victor telling Nick, "Look, I need to figure out who I can trust, and that's the purpose of these reindeer games I'm playing." If he comes clean, I wonder if he can convince Nick to keep quiet. Already, Nikki knows, and she hasn't said anything to anyone, Instead, she's devoting all her energy to savagely attacking her stepson every time they breathe the same air, when he's not done one thing lately to justify her wrath. I feel like Victoria is definitely going to fail this test. And Nikki, who knows it's a ruse, might also fail the test if she starts to doubt Victor. And this whole thing. So good on Nick for figuring it out. I would definitely have expected Adam to have figured it out first, because Adam has run plenty of fake cons. Remember, I'm trying to remember what he was putting something in his eyes while he was in prison to fake blindness and to fake that retinosis, whatever condition that he has. And then he ended up actually, I think, blinding himself. But he's plotted so much. He's plotted medical things. So is Victor. They've plotted against each other. So the very fact that Adam didn't suspect any subterfuge and isn't engaged in any subterfuge of his own, to me, is a good sign about his character redeeming himself. So Adam believes in what is happening to Victor. Like, he really thinks Victor's addled, but he's not trying to take advantage of it. So, for my money, Nikki needs to zip it. Adam is her husband's son, whom he loves, and she needs to stop bullying him. I do know there's history there between them, but it's just that. It's history. She and her kids have all done sketchy stuff. In fact, they've all done sketchy stuff to Victor, have had Victor do sketchy stuff to them, and they've done sketchy stuff behind his back. It's all gray, Nobody has clean hands, yet they're trying to sling mud at Adam. So I am very curious whether Victor will confess to Nick and whether he can convince Nick to zip it and just let it all play out organically like Victor wants. I mean, realistically, Nick doesn't even work at Newman Enterprises. He's working with Sharon over at that Cameron Kirsten company. So he could just step out of it and just ignore it and let it unfold now that he knows that Victor's fine. But I kind of suspect that Nick is going to run to Nikki and the two of them will talk, and they're going to sit around trying to blame this all on Adam and saying that Adam will take advantage. I mean, Nick blames Adam for his parking tickets, if his beer's not cold, if his shoelace breaks. And I think Nikki would blame Adam for climate change if she could get away with it. It's nuts. So I do hope that this Victor faking dementia storyline doesn't bang on for too long, but I expect it to suck up a lot of episode space during November sweeps, which runs October 26th through November 22nd. So what do you guys think? Are you surprised that Nick actually figured something out? And do you think Victor will come clean? Do you think Nick will keep his mouth shut, or is the jig up and Victor's not going to be able to play games anymore? Tell me what you think. Drop your comments below. I read all your comments. I love them. Thank you so much for interacting with me here. If you haven't already, please click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates, and definitely click a like if you enjoyed this talk about Nick and Victor. Thanks for coming here and chatting soaps with me every day. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.